Hey everyone, it's Elvie. I have another book review for you today. So I finished this book a few days ago. It is The Devil's Own Duke by Lenora Bell. This is part of the Wallflowers versus Rogues series. So I gave this book a 4, which surprised me because the first book I read by Lenora Bell, which was For the Duke's Eyes Only, was like a 6-star read. It was really, really good. And this book was good, especially at the beginning. And it's one of those where as it went on, it kind of got stagnant. And when that happens, it tends to move down for me. So our heroine is Henrietta Prince. Well, Lady Henrietta Prince. She is of a title. Her father is a duke. She goes by the name Hetty. Her father is, getting up there in age. He's sort of a drunkard, unfortunately. And the most unfortunate thing is that her uncle and cousin were supposed to be like sort of the heirs for the family's fortune and estate and so forth. And they unfortunately passed away before the story takes place. They were on a ship that sank, so, horrible situation. And with that security taken away from her father and herself, they face a big dilemma because as a woman in the 1800s, Henrietta is not able to own property or have any sort of say in her estate, her land, her inheritance, really, because of her sex. So pretty different times for sure. And so the story begins with Hetty having a ball for her father so that he can meet a woman, get married, and produce a male heir to secure the family's estate, the inheritance, and secure the bag, essentially. And so at the ball, Hetty sees sort of a, tall, dark stranger, so to speak, and he sort of, I believe he's masked, and he comes up to her and basically is like, I want you to dance with me. And she's like, I don't know, but okay. And they dance. It's very steamy and passionate. And we find out that the man that danced with her is sort of the bad boy in town. It is Ellis, and he is known sort of as the devil of the ton at the moment. He runs a gambling casino, and his casino has turned a few young, well-meaning dukes into paupers. So I believe his what was it called? The Devil's Staircase, I believe, is the name of his bar slash gambling casino. And he's turned a few good men into very unfortunate people. So very scandalous that Henrietta was dancing with him. And what's even more scandalous is after the dance, Ash leads her out to the balcony slash terrace and begins to try to make out with her, seduce her, so to speak. And she is actually walked in upon that by her father. So, a lot of drama out the gate. And then there's a big twist in the story where Ash comes forward and says that he is one of the long lost heirs to the family's fortune. So it kind of turns out that Ash and Hetty are like 5th or 7th or 9th cousins. So, kind of gross, but it was the time, and that's kind of a big gap between relations, but still kind of icky. But that was a really kind of cool subplot, was the whole lost baby, lost duke or inheritor of the fortune. That was a cool twist. And this story had some really cool tropes. It definitely had like the lost baby trope, and this was definitely an enemies to lovers. It was a marriage of convenience because in this story, Hetty does sort of get persuaded to slash decide to marry Ash because he is sort of the rightful heir to the estate and fortune. By marrying him, she has secured herself for life, like basically, so she can keep living her lifestyle, living in her house, and not have to worry about too many things. But the two of them have this sort of, it is enemies to lovers, but it's very tumultuous. So they sort of have this game that goes on after their marriage, was like, I basically will, you know, seal the deal on the wedding night, but if you want it again, either you're gonna have to beg or I'm gonna have to beg for it or something. So that was sort of an interesting game they played with one another, and it does get resolved in the end, I will say. But yeah, it was a different story. I gave it a 4. It was, like I said, it started off really strong and then just kind of petered out near the end, and I was sort of ready for it to wrap up, so to speak. But I really did like the character of Hetty. Yeah, Hetty, it seems so funny saying Hetty. She wants to sort of start a wine business on her land. They grow grapes and have a prominent vineyard on the estate, and she makes wine, and she wants to actually pursue that as a dream. And Ash is sort of there to help her because, you know, he's running a gambling institute and bar, so a winery bar combo sort of go hand in hand. So yeah, it's a good pairing, so to speak. Overall, I did like this story. It needed a little more something going on in the middle, in the end. My spice for the book was like a 3 or 4, I can't remember. It was like moderately explicit, nothing too crazy, and not too vulgar, or it wasn't continuous through the story. It was in big spaces in between. Ash is a very typical alpha male hero, so if you're looking for some alpha male heroes, I suggest Ash, Ellis, and The Devil's Own Duke. And then I just read this one, which is A Gentle Feuding by Joanna Lindsay, and Jamie is very much so a alpha male. This is more of a traditional bodice ripper, so it's got some strong content and triggers. So definitely I'll have this book reviewed up on April 24th before the book club meeting. This is the Historical Hellions book club pick for April. So check out the triggers if you want to check out this book. This one had the triggers of death of a parent, some sexism, the lost baby / didn't know my parents sort of thing. And there was some violence and not really gore, but there was some violence near the end of the story, and I don't want to do too many spoilers. Oh, funny note, there was a scene where Hetty wanted to sneak into the devil's staircase, so she had to disguise herself as a man. And so this will be another one I put on my list of heroine in disguise. So yeah, that was a funny coincidence that I had another heroine in disguise trope with this story. So funny. But overall, I enjoyed the story. I do like Lenorabell, so I definitely want to pick up some more books by her. Let me know in the comments below, have you read a book by Lenorabell? What was your favorite one if you have? If you haven't, is there one from her catalog that sticks out in your head that you said, ooh, that might be a good one? I definitely loved For the Duke's Eyes Only. That one was part of a series, as was this one, and I had no issue jumping into this book without reading the others in order. So if you want to read this one without reading the first or however many are before this one, I was perfectly fine reading it without having spoilers for other books. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed my review. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at I'll Be Reading Romance. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon for another video. Bye everyone. Have a wonderful day.